up to the NFL here. We'll get back to we'll put a bow on the show by discussing the national championships because we'll even give a little bit of a talk about the FCS championship game. But let's go up to the recap week 17 here, and we'll start surprising, disappointing. Told you so.
Now,
And
Gil, is
with
there a
the,
rhyme
with-
or is there a rhyme or reason for the helmets this week, or what are we doing here?
yes and no. Yes
Stay
and
tuned,
no.
Stay tuned, folks.
So, with the first pick in the week 17 NFL recap, the first pick is me. The second pick is
I think he's cooking the books, Ethan. He's had a great week.
Ethan, and then Grant pulling up the rear. And Ethan, I chose the Lions for you is because I was sick of my helmets falling down, and I didn't want to grab a Vikings one without knocking down the Falcons, the Bears, Panthers.
It was division leaders.
Yeah,
But that's exactly kind of how it worked out. Was division leaders, so
division leaders and two of the three are division champs.
Yes, and hopefully adding a third to that, and because the Cowboys beat the Lions on Saturday, and my surprise team here is the what the ref call is gonna go a team that helped propel the Cowboys into first place in the NFC East is the Arizona Cardinals.
Damn it, you stole mine.
Well, we could, because we have done this before. We did this with Josh Dobbs. If you guys are good with this, we could just make this our consensus surprise team of the week.
No.
No, Ethan's got his own. Okay, I'm sure. All right, fair enough. It wasn't a Viking, so it was stupid. I got you.
I'll figure it out.
But yeah, so rough year down in the desert. But it's a Jonathan Gannon revenge game, and they seemed dead. The birds were flying high, but it was the Cardinals that were flying higher after they got down 21-6. I don't think I am far off to say that Kyler Murray played the best game of his career on Sunday. I thought he looked in rhythm. He was getting the ball out on time. He made a couple of his circus plays that he is so well known for, and what's made him successful in this league. And then James Conner looked like he was looking like his rookie year in Pittsburgh. And then Jonathan Gannon, right away when it happened, we thought, oh, what an idiot. Why would he try this onside kick? But then it was, oh, if I kick it deep, the Eagles might drive down the field and kick a game-winning field goal. Our offense, which is clicking on all cylinders, might not get a chance to get the ball back. So he said, you know what? Screw it. I trust my defense enough that we can hold them to 3, and we're going to get the ball back. We're going to go down and score. And that's exactly what they did. And instead of being the donkey of the week, he is the genius of the week in Jonathan Gannon. And the pew, 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 pew guy makes the Eagles fan miss him a little bit because if you guys remember, he was blamed for the collapse in the Super Bowl and the reason why the Eagles didn't win it last year. But he got the laugh for now because right now the Eagles are on the outside looking in the NFC East here, and I cannot thank the Cardinals enough.
Dylan, I'm not going with the Vikings, but I'm going with the team that beat them, the Packers, and not just because they won. I thought they were expected to win. It's how they won. That was probably the best quarterback play the Vikings have had versus them in months. Jordan Love, flawless, 125 passer rating, 3 touchdowns, 8 yards a pass, 177 rushing yards, and this Vikings defense has been good. And they weren't down a ton of players, but my God, they just didn't matter what they did. They could get whatever they wanted. Some guy named Bo Melton just signed for their practice squad, 105 yards receiving. Who in the hell is this guy? They're doing this with average players. None of these outside guys are really that great. The NFC North has a problem, and it's honestly Jordan Love.
And just when we thought that the Packers, the franchise, was dead, all of a sudden Jordan Love comes out. I mean, Matt LaFleur, probably the best play calling game of his career. And Joe Barry's defense looked like they had a pulse again. And, you know, it was one of those games where the Vikings, you know, it was a fun run. Enjoy the Josh Dobbs moments, the Nick Mullins moments, but I think the clock has struck midnight on them, and it's no indictment of anybody else. The fact that they've won 7 games and found themselves with a outside shot at the playoffs just speaks to the coaching job that Kevin O'Connell and that staff has done. And I think, you know, if Vikings, hopefully they're able to re-sign Kirk and get back to where, you know, seeing a 3-horse race for the division, the NFC North next year.
It's actually pretty wild. The Vikings can go from anywhere between the 9th overall pick into the playoffs. Like, it's just, that's
crazy.
So, you know, guys, get the 9th pick. Okay, I'm sorry. Go beat Detroit is what I mean.
No. Say it with your chest. Lose this game. Get the draft capital, because let's call a spade a spade. This Vikings team is getting their ass kicked in Dallas in the playoffs if they make it. Don't even save the embarrassment and just get a top 10 pick. But Ethan, to your point, Jordan Love this season he's having would be the best quarterback year the Chicago Bears had in franchise history. It's incredible. Like I don't get it. There's some sort of deal the city of Green Bay made with the NFL to where this middle of nowhere place that makes cheese curds and beer is going to be the quarterback factory. I don't get it, but here we are. And so it's my turn now. And actually, you guys stole both teams I wrote down in my notes for surprise
I'll give you one if you need one.
No. So I'm gonna go.
Yeah, we have 2 or 3, Ethan, because I also had the Packers. Grant had the Cardinals.
I'm gonna go back to Arizona, but for reasons Dylan did not mention. So it's been a rough year for the Cardinals. They deserve their credit, so we're gonna give it to them. And if you think about it, guys, just the logistics of this game, going across the country, losing 3 time zones, and having a 1 p.m. kickoff in Philadelphia, that's a recipe for them to lose by 14 points. Especially after the night before when Dallas got the win. The Eagles needed this to get a home playoff game and maybe 2 home playoff games. But Arizona, you know, they were maybe a little sluggish, like you said, Dylan. They were down 21-6, but you know, this offensive line for the Cardinals, they were fantastic on Sunday. 40 rushing attempts, guys, for 221 yards, 5.5 yards per carry. That didn't happen last year when Jonathan Gannon was coaching this Eagles defense. The three first round picks from Georgia, where were they on Sunday stopping the run?
Where was Hassan Reddick?
Where's Hassan Reddick? I know he had a sack in the game.
Was that Paris Johnson, the tackle out of Ohio State they drafted?
Paris Johnson, that is correct.
Phenomenal job. Incredible.
Yes. They signed Zach Cunningham this offseason. He's nowhere to be seen. Shaq Leonard. We're going to bring him off the street. Yeah, an off-ball linebacker is going to change our defense. People in the media are so stupid. We knew he wasn't going to do anything in Philadelphia. But Arizona came in there with bad intentions. And Dylan, to your point, Kyler, 25 of 31 for 232 yards, 7.5 yards an attempt. And just 1 turnover on the road. That is efficient. And they only gave up 1 sack, Arizona's offensive line. So, and I know it's a rough year. They're 4-12. But you know what? They've played hard in a lot of these games. And if they can get some of these draft picks right and bring in the good quality players, who knows? This Arizona team might not be horrible. The NFC West is a tough division. I'm not saying they're going to be a playoff team here anytime soon, but Jonathan Gannon clearly has these guys playing hard week in and week out. And maybe they're building something good in the desert. And let's give Arizona's defense credit. At home, they only gave up 24 points to the Eagles' offense thanks to the Sidney Brown pick 6. And Jalen only threw for 167 yards in the air. You don't let A.J. Brown beat you and you let old man Julio Jones score your 2 touchdowns, I'm okay with that. So, well-deserved, Arizona. You deserve getting credit times 2 this week.
I'm not going to dispute it, yeah. And not to mention how much of a disaster what we've read in the media of how bad the culture in Arizona is between the ownership and front office for Jonathan Gannon
Mhm.
to come in. There wasn't a whole lot of expectations because I think a lot of people, and this podcast included, wrote Kyler Murray off, and
Oh yeah.
because of his attitude, his just poor body language, and you're not seeing it as much as you have. So maybe Jonathan Gannon's got something clicking in there that maybe if Kyler's able to turn it around, there's lots of reasons for positivity in Arizona, and just a week late or a week after, Grant, you and I were talking about how they were an irrelevant franchise. So you know
Correct.
what? You know what? I guess Arizona, if we're the fuel that helps get you guys makes you guys better, you're welcome. We better be getting a Super Bowl ring if they ever win a Super Bowl.
We got Houston to 9-7.
We did. Exactly.
So we should just start talking about these lowly franchises and building them up, and we get our credit when credit is due.
I think we've done a good job of solving their problems and pointing out what their issues are and what they need to do.
And also shout out to Ethan back till April, saying in his mock draft Arizona needs to protect Kyler. So
yeah,
shout out to Mr. Price there. And then with their second pick, and one of their first picks in the second round, they took
Mike Mayock.
You're better than Mike Mayock because you have a job and he doesn't. But they took an edge rusher from LSU. Jonathan Gannon's building this thing from the inside out. Now, don't get me wrong. If Marvin Harrison is there at 4, take him. But if not, there's plenty of tackles and edge rushers available for Arizona in this upcoming draft.